Hi guys, welcome back.
No, I'm the host.
Okay. Yep, you go.
Hi guys, welcome back to Sarah Chat. Hi guys, welcome back to Sarah Chat's podcast. Your girl Ashley here. I am so delighted to have the opportunity to host a podcast today. Today, your one and only favorite guest, it makes no sense, is your homegirl Sierra.
Yes. Hi. Welcome to my podcast.
So,
welcome to Ashley's podcast.
It's Ashley's podcast right now.
Yes.
So we'll just call it Ashley Chat just for this podcast.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be a guest on a podcast?
Oh, it's so wonderful. I feel so honored that you are literally interviewing me or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, I'm actually delighted to be able to have this opportunity. Like, it's just simple. I just sit here and I talk and I lead this podcast, but I don't have to do any of the work. So thank you for all that you do. Yeah. So before we get started, like, I have a couple topics that I would like to talk and everything about. But before we get going on these thoughts, I have a little challenge for us today.
Okay. Oh, yes. What is your challenge?
Okay. So right at your feet, we have limes.
They're
lemons.
It's not like at my feet. It's like over. We have lemons. Yes.
Some lemons.
Did you want them?
Yes,
Here you
please.
go.
And they're cut already. I'm gonna put them right there, boo.
I'm gonna put this knife somewhere else.
So,
I'm not good with knives.
keep that drink away from me.
I threw it.
Okay, you can grab your piece.
Okay.
And so we're just going to like eat a lemon, and we can't give any reactions.
Okay.
We're gonna have to
Easy
like
peasy.
just enjoy this beautiful lemon without a reaction. Can we do that?
Yeah, I can.
If you're so confident in it, I feel like we need a bigger piece.
Are you confident?
I'm not confident, but if you're acting mad confident, boo.
We start small and go bigger.
Bet. Cheers.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna start laughing. I'm so nervous. I'm freaking out.
I can't handle this.
All right, guys, we're gonna do this now. Ready? Go.
Yeah. No reaction.
Your eyes are getting watery, though, boo. Oh, how the
Bigger?
Oh. Yeah, go for it.
Girl, why you reacting so crazy?
Uh-uh.
You didn't even get anything.
No, I didn't. No,
You didn't even eat.
no. I how?
I said easy peasy, did I not? Did you hear me say easy peasy?
She on something.
I am not anything. Was there a reaction though?
You laughed.
Yeah, but
I think she only laughed to cover up the
no,
struggle.
I'm gonna finish it.
Okay.
My mom used to eat lemons, and then it took the enamel off her teeth.
Oh, so you're...
No, but like she didn't know. That was before she was married and before we were in existence. I actually like lemons.
I'm actually gonna put this over there. I'm sorry, I'm done with
That's
this.
okay. You failed. You lost.
I 100% failed.
That's okay.
But hey, actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my phone today because I have some questions that I have written down. So I hope that's okay. But you... Actually, do you mind putting this on the floor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I forgot it was still there.
No, you're fine. You're fine, boo.
I mean, I knew it was there because it was on my lap, but like...
But you forgot it was there. Like,
Yeah.
I get that, actually. So...
I'm excited for this. Trying to make sure I'm in... Am I in... Yeah, I'm in frame. I feel like this is a long time coming. This podcast has been a long time coming.
Yeah. So you made a comment just right now.
Okay.
You talked about your mom.
Oh, yeah.
You said that she used to
Eat lemons.
eat lemons.
Or the enamel on her teeth.
Yeah. So I guess my first question for you is, what is your nationality?
I am biracial. I'm half white and black.
Gotcha. And what
From
is
the
your
Congo.
mom? What is your mom?
My birth mom, or my mom.
All right. Well, you just jump the. Jump.
My mom is white.
Gotcha. And I was gonna say your mom is white, but is she actually is she your birth mother?
She's not my birth mom.
Yeah.
My birth mom is Irish.
Gotcha.
Or was it? What's the other? Scottish, Ireland, sweet. I need to check ancestry DNA.
So yeah, I'm not sure if you talked about it before ever on the podcast.
I don't think I have.
Sierra's actually adopted.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And so, yeah, I would love to talk more about your story and adoption. And yeah, just get into that whole aspect of conversation today, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know for the people who follow me on Instagram, go and follow me on Instagram if you don't follow me on Instagram. I do, like a year or so ago, I shared I was in an adoptee group where I shared a little bit of my story. And then within the group, there were adopted mothers, mothers who gave their kids up for adoption. It was everything, all of it in one group, talking about their experiences and perspectives. And then I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, I would love to hear more about your story. And I said I would make a podcast, and have I? Not yet.
Well, here we are. I think that's awesome. What better person to get wisdom from and knowledge and learn more about adoption than a person who experienced adoption themselves. And so, yeah, let's see how this goes. So, can we ask, how old are you?
I am 33. No, I'm not. I'm 32. I forgot.
She's not 33 yet. She'll be soon.
I was born December 25th, 1991.
Christmas.
Yes, I am a Christmas baby.
Guys, her birthday's on Christmas.
Did you know that? Did you forget?
I probably forgot, but Christmas, send her extra blessings. So at what age were you adopted?
I was 4 when I was officially adopted. So to preface that, my parents, so I was a prison baby. Do you know what that is?
I do, but do you want to explain?
So a prison baby is someone whose birth mom is incarcerated, gives birth to a baby, aka me. So my parents, they were foster parents, but they were also volunteer guardians for mothers incarcerated to be guardians for them to place their babies. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that is how my parents got me.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And so would you, being that you were a prison baby, would you know your biological parents?
Yeah, well, my birth mom, I do know her. The earliest memories of my birth mom, Shannon, I call her Shannon, are me visiting her in prison as a little child.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I've known her. My adoption was an open adoption. And again, like I said, since I was a birth child, I don't know, since I was a prison baby, technically I wasn't in the foster care system like some of my other siblings.
Sure.
She had so when she would get out of prison, she had guardianship of me. So then she got me back. She got my siblings back. But then she broke parole, ended up back in prison. So my parents, again, got me and my siblings.
Gotcha. So you talk about your siblings. Are you referring to your biological siblings or your adopted siblings? Do you have biological siblings that you're referring to?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about siblings that your adopted parents also adopted?
Yeah. So I have 5 biological half siblings from Shannon. Okay. We all have the same mom. Shannon had 6 kids, and 3 of us were adopted into one family.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Come on. So how many siblings do you have in your adopted family?
There are 6 kids, 6 of us.
6 of you. Okay.
So 5 siblings.
5 siblings. All right. And out of the 6 of you, how many of you are adopted?
5.
So there's 1 biological.
Yeah, my youngest sister, Bev.
Gotcha. Okay, and so let's put a pause on your adopted family. Let's talk about your half siblings. So 3 of you are adopted. The other ones that weren't adopted, do you know them today?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I know them all.
Okay, that's awesome.
I have a relationship with them all.
That is incredible. Yeah. Come on. I love that.
Yeah. It's not like I talk to them every single day, right? But several times a year,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
And then, well, some of them, like the ones that are, like the siblings that I had that are adopted into the same family, like we talk all the time, you know, like siblings do. And then the 3 others who weren't adopted into my family, we have a relationship, but like it's, you know, periodically I check in, make sure they're good and all the things. Yeah.
Cool. So, all right, that's good to know. We're going to take a pause on your biological family for a bit, and we're going to go to your adopted family now.
Okay.
I want to be careful with the questions, but I just also want to answer the questions that I'm curious about. And so I ask the questions that I'm curious about because I'm sure other people are curious about this too.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can remember this correctly. We have 6 kids total, 5 siblings. Out of those 6 kids, 3 are adopted. One is biological. One is a biological child. And then you have 2 other ones. Are they biologically related or no? Siblings?
No. So out of the 6 siblings, 5 are adopted, 3 are siblings, 2 are not. They are not related.
They're not related. Okay.
No.
All right. So your youngest sister is a biological child.
Yeah.
How old were you when she was born?
She's 16 months younger than me, so 16 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So she was already in the family and everything like that, born before before you got adopted.
Yeah.
So she was 4 years old. 3 years old. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how has that been to grow up in a family with 2 of your full siblings, 2 of your siblings have siblings, but then they have 1 adopted child already, 1 biological child. What was the relationship like between you and your adopted parents compared versus the biological child?
Versus Bev. Yeah. Honestly, it was the same.
Was it?
Like so, and I know a lot of people are like, this is a question that people ask, but like, so like, and if you would talk to Bev, like I remember after we got adopted, we all had like these parties, you know, balloons and stuff, not like crazy parties, but like celebrated our adoption day. And she was like so sad because she wanted to be adopted too. But no, we were all like, my parents didn't treat one child better than the other.
Okay.
You know, and like, so my parents had all of us before they actually had Bev. Because she's the youngest, like she's younger.
And you were foster before you were actually officially adopted.
Yeah, my parents had me. Like I think we went back twice to Shannon. But it didn't last like super long because she broke parole and then to back up in prison. So all I know pretty much is my parents. Are you good?
V is falling asleep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like, so we were in existence before Bev.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And so, but yeah, no, there really, like, I can honestly say there really wasn't much difference. Okay. But now she was the baby of the family. You know, she was the youngest, she was the baby. So of course the youngest child always gets a little bit more spoiled than, you know, cause it's the baby. But I don't think that, but it wasn't like, this is my child and, you know, type of thing.
So you felt like you guys were one family and there was no difference between the yous. Yeah. Like yous were all equally a child. Of your parents. What are their names?
Ed and Luella.
Ed and Luella. Yes. Gotcha. So let's talk a little bit about your Ed and Luella. So what is their background?
They used to be, so before they were horse and buggy Mennonite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Joe Wanger.
Ah, yes. And then they left the Joe Wangers. I don't know. I can't see. I also want to have them on the podcast and have them speak about their experience. Right. I can't remember for sure if they left the Joe Wanger and then started fostering, or if they had got their first child when they were still Joe Wanger, horse and buggy Mennonite, and then left. It was around that period when they got their first foster child. But like there were some foster kids that they had that they didn't adopt, you know. So I can't remember like the timeline.
So Joe Wangers do foster care.
They were the first ones.
They
were literally the first ones 30 years ago. 30 plus years ago, because my siblings are older. Yeah.
So your relationship with your ex Joe Wanger parents, I mean, Joe Wangers are horse and buggy Mennonites. Some people compare them to Amish. Similar lifestyle, not completely. They have phones and whatnot, but they rather horse and buggy.
They have electricity.
So there's some difference, but Yeah. How was that? How was your experience growing up? How was your relationship with your adopted parents? How was your relationship with their immediate family, like their parents, like your aunts and uncles and your cousins and so forth?
Yes. So if I can rephrase the question, what was it like growing up in like the Mennonite culture?
Thank you.
Okay.
Exactly that.
Okay. So, and I just want to quick say something about that. So the Mennonite culture, there are so many different types of Mennonites and there are different types of Amish. I'm just going to class them all in the Anabaptist as an Anabaptist because I feel like there are so many denominations within the Anabaptist denomination. There's so many different types of Mennonites and different things, right? So honestly, my mom she comes from she has 15 siblings. Okay. And quite a few of her siblings actually fostered and adopted kids as well. So like my mom's side of the family,
that's awesome.
Amazing. Like we always had like a great relationship. It was great. My dad's side of the family, it was a little bit harder. I remember when we were kids, there was a moment when my grandpa said, hey, this is how many grandkids he has, but like all of us were not counted except Bev because she was biological. But it's different now because now my dad's youngest sister, they also adopted kids, right? And so like all of that is different now, but we're not as close to my dad's side of the family because like growing up, like we were watched, and again, my mom's side of the family, they're more extroverted and outgoing and crazy and loud and fun. My dad's side is more introverted and more quiet and reserved.
So your mom's side of the family would have been more culturally open to the idea of it, while your father's side of the family would have been more culturally closed to the idea of having.
Well, not like closed per se, because like, they all respected my dad, but like, it was more like, like why? But I mean, I think it was just new for them. It was new. It was a new idea and a whole new thing that they had never experienced before. And so they were just like kind of keeping an eye out just to see like how everything turns out, Gotcha. Another question that people ask within this, and I know you have more questions, but it's something that people always, the next question that people ask normally when they ask me about that is, did you experience any racism within the Mennonite culture? Next question. Oh, okay. I personally haven't. I know my siblings. So 2 of them are full black. 2 of us are half black, and then 2 are. Bev is white, obviously, and my oldest brother, he's full white. But like, so we're a very colorful family. I have never experienced racism within the Mennonite culture, Mennonite or Anabaptist community, living in a predominantly white community, because where we grew up, it was predominantly white and mostly Anabaptist type people in which we hung out with. I did not go to a Mennonite school. We went to a private holiness school. And
wait. Your Mennonite ex-Joanger parents put you in a holiness school. What is that?
Baptist, but not Baptist. I don't know how to explain them. Okay. So, and everybody always says we're Mennonite, right? So I would describe us as, when I was younger, when I was living with my parents, and my parents even today, Pentecostal Mennonite in the form of how my mom dresses, how we dressed. We wore skirts and a veil, right? Which my mom still does today, and that's great, and I love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like when it came to Mennonite beliefs,
you were charismatic.
Yeah, I don't know what Mennonites believe. Our church wasn't Mennonite. Okay. We didn't go to a Mennonite school. We didn't have like that type of upbringing. Also, I should also quickly add that when I was 9, my family moved to South Africa. We lived in a small village called Kohomouth.
Wait, say that one more time.
Kohomouth.
Wait, say it again.
Plymouth.
Dude.
Yeah, they spoke Xhosa. So
Can you say something? I'm sorry to take away from this, but like,
Ngubani gama lako.
I was expecting.
Oh. I could say like
Yo, that's sick.
that's Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth.
Come on.
So from 9 to like 13, we lived in a predominantly black village. Like everyone was black except my family, right? And so there's also that aspect of everything. But going back to the whole Mennonite thing, we never fit into the Mennonite culture because we were not Mennonite. We dressed it, but like we weren't it because we believed in the Holy Spirit and they didn't, and we were crazy. But I feel like now, since I spoke some Xhosa, I totally forgot what the question was. I didn't experience racism.
It was a question you asked yourself.
Some of my siblings have experienced some things, but like it wasn't like they don't hold any grudges or anything. It was just kids being ignorant, you know?
So talking about like the whole aspect of you didn't necessarily grow up in the Mennonite culture of things, but you were Pentecostal Mennonites. The aspect of racism, you didn't experience it much yourself, but some of your siblings would have had. What are your thoughts on Amish, Mennonites, Joangers, Anabaptists, and adoption?
Yeah, I know some people are very much they cannot adopt people. That's kids. That's not true. I think they can totally adopt. I don't think adoption is for everyone. I definitely do not think adoption is for everyone. But I think if you're within that culture, like the Anabaptist culture, if you try to put your child in a box and expect them to live within that box, it's not going to work because like we're ingrained like differently than what they are, you know? So that's not going to work. But I think all kids need love. Yeah. And there are like 340,000 different like kids in the US who are in the foster care system. And I think if I remember right, there are 340,000 churches within the US. If one family from every church would adopt a child, we would not have any. We would have like no foster kids in the system.
But then not
everyone. I don't think everyone should adopt because I don't think everyone is called to adopt.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I think they can adopt, but they have to be willing to understand their child in ways that might be different from what they would want for their child. I feel like I should have worded that differently.
How would you word it?
I don't know. I'm not here to say they can't adopt because like they can. And I think like, so I have some friends who've had some bad experiences, but then I also have friends who've had amazing experiences, right? And I think the difference was the parents didn't fully have resources to like learn how to address things that come up with foster kids, like trauma and rejection and different things like that. I'm not excusing it because you can go and you can go find resources and you can find, you know, community to help you in that. I think some just don't want to do it and they think that they have all the answers when they don't. And some parents just make mistakes, but some parents do the best that they can, that they know how to do, right? And I say that to say that like even like parents who have only biological kids also make mistakes, and their kids also, some kids end up incarcerated or, you know, making bad choices, right? There's a lot of negativity around the Anabaptist community within adoption because there's this stigma that they don't want there's this stigma that they just want to keep the child in a box, when in fact that's not the case. I mean, I know you know people, and I know people who, you know, have shared their stories, and it's only been negative and traumatic. But then I think the things that happened to them was also like 30 years ago, 25 years ago, when we didn't have the resources that we have today, and we didn't have the things that we have today to like help guide in parenting, right?
There are so many new books and studies out there of just understanding trauma, understanding adoption, understanding just even culture. So like as you were talking, like I just thought of a few different books, and I can't think of the names. I should have searched it, but like the one was cross-culture communication. And like for me, I love that book as far as working cross-culturally, but adoption. You're also working cross-culturally, like even in the Mennonite world. So like, yes, you might be a white person adopting a white baby, but culturally, the culture that child came from, just adoption too is a lot of trauma in a child's life, because they're being pulled apart from their mother at a young age and so forth. And that comes with a sense of rejection. And like, I don't know, just understanding how to connect with people in different areas. And so like, that's one book that came to mind. There was another one that I found recently. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a Christian lady's story on her adoption and how that was. And like, now she adopts kids. And like, even like the gospel comes with a house key. I personally have not read that book yet myself, but I've heard so many things about it, and just like being willing to open up our house. And like, today we have so many different things to help guide us and understand, or books about trauma and everything like that. But so not everyone is equipped to adopt or foster, but there are people out there that are able, if they're willing to open their house and their heart, and allow the Lord to lead them in that. And like, you were talking about a lot of these stories that you heard from the past. They were like 20, 30 years ago. Well, I have a good friend of mine's now, and she was adopted. She was the only one that was adopted. If she listens to this, I'm talking about you. You know who you are, boo, but I'm not saying the name. You just text me. Oh, okay. Literally, she just texted me right now.
Can I say the name? I'm not gonna say the name. No.
I think we've talked about before. I told her I was going to do this podcast, and she thought it would be fun to like, and so like, I wonder what her insight is on this. But I know that her relationship with her mom has been really good, and like she has had really good relationship and so forth. And like hearing that just gives me a lot of hope and excitement of knowing that there's a possibility. But like you said, like if every church, one family from each church would adopt, then that will help the issue that we're facing today. Does that mean that Mennonites and Amish should not adopt? No. Does that mean that all Mennonites and Amish should adopt? Absolutely not. Does that mean that some people will make mistakes? Yes. But you mentioned it. Parents make like
everybody makes mistakes.
Birth parents make mistakes. My mom made mistakes. If I ever have kids, I'm sure I'll make mistakes. And like we cannot say that because I birthed this child that they're going to come out exactly how I want them to. And the idea of that, because at the end of the day, each person can make their own decision. Can
I say one thing about my mom though? So, you know, the resources weren't available and stuff, that they didn't have any resources. The internet was barely even in existence, right? When they had my older sister, Rochelle, she's Black. My mom would be out shopping at Wise or Walmart or Kmart, because Kmart was a thing back then. And
I miss Kmart.
She would see a Black lady, and she would walk up to her and say, "How did you get your hair like that? Like, my daughter, like, what do I do? What for product should I use?" You know? So she went out and she would find resources. She would find people and ask for help and advice, like how to do things, right? And like, I have so much respect for that. Like, because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I know all the things. I know how to do it." And they don't want to like advocate for their child and try to find ways to better, you know.
I know all the things, and they don't advocate. I think we get so stuck up in, I can do this myself.
We can't. We need a village.
We do. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but no, I feel like my parents have done an amazing job. Yeah, they made some mistakes. I have a good relationship with my parents. Do we agree on everything 100%? No, but like, who does? Do you agree with your mom? Everything 100%?
No.
But we have a good relationship, and they literally did the best they did. And where they failed, they've apologized. And I'm like, there's no need to continuously apologize, because like, I know your heart, and you've only done the best for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
I wonder if the people can hear that vehicle. Do you hear that? Is a loud motor.
Yep.
Anyway, any
so
more questions?
I have a few more questions before we wrapped up here. I guess one question that I would have is, what is one thing you thank God for because of your adoption story?
I thank God that I have a family. So I feel like if I wasn't adopted, I probably wouldn't be alive today. One little story, just, so when my parents got to the hospital to see me the very first time, they found out that like I had hepatitis A, hepatitis C. I had like 3 diseases, and I had a hole in my heart, like an open hole in my heart. And the doctors told them that they're gonna go in tomorrow. They're gonna like do surgery for my open heart and different things like that, right? And my dad's like, you know what? We believe in the power of prayer. We believe in healing. Let's pray for this baby. They prayed for me. They had to leave. They only had like 15 minutes, I think. They left. They came back the next morning. And they're like, hey, we're Ed and Luella, guardians for this child. Sierra, did she go into surgery? I don't know the conversation they had. I was 2 weeks old or whatever. And and they got pulled into a room, and they stuck them into a room. And she's like, it was like a nurse and some doctors, and they're like, we don't know what happened, but like this baby, we did some tests. We were going to take her into surgery, but the hole is completely gone. And like,
come on,
every single disease that she had is completely, like not existing anymore. Like, praise I was God. Completely healed 100%. It was a miracle, right? And they're like, we've never seen this before. But I say that to also say, if I would have continued living with Shannon, her life was all about drugs and sex and men and all of the things, right? She gave us up because she wanted that lifestyle more than us, right? More than her kids. She's like, yeah, no, I want this. I'm signing over the rights. You can have my kids. I can't take care of them. All the things. And so like, if we would have stayed with her, I don't even know if I would have lived, because I, number one, wouldn't have been healed from all of my diseases. And I would have had to be on medication for the rest of my life. Would I have gotten the medication that I needed? Probably not, because all of the money that she had went to drugs, and she lived on the streets, different things. So family.
I have a big question before we wrap this up. We're running tight on time. You just talked about the trauma of your mom.
Yeah.
Her desire for men, for sex, and just being out there and so forth, giving you guys up. How has that trauma affected you? Like, have you, like the generational trauma and so forth, have you felt that in your own life?
It's something that I never wanted, because I saw her lifestyle, and it's like, I do not want to be like that. I do have some siblings who unfortunately followed in her footsteps, right? And I'm like, I see the chaos and the hurt and the brokenness, and I didn't want that.
Yeah.
Also, as a child, my parents, they were like, hey, do you want to break these generational curses? Like, as believers, so early on you were Christian, able to, right? Yeah. My family is Christian. We believe in the power of prayer, and that, we have the authority in Jesus to break these curses. And so at a young age, I think I was like 10 or 11, and they're like, do you want to pray to break the generational curses over your life, because there are some, right? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I did, but that's not to say that, like, I don't think, without Jesus, I know that my lifestyle could be like that, but I don't want that for myself.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
That did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I love that too, that at an early age, you were able to come to grips with the generational sins, curse, and so forth, and just be able to break that and not allow that to have a hold on you. And I think that's something that we can all do.
Yeah.
We can all do that. So one last question.
Yeah, we're good.
Would you adopt?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Actually, my younger sister and her husband, they adopted 3 kids.
Oh! That's the biological one.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I totally would adopt 100%.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think that's a wrap for today's podcast. I am so honored to be able to sit down with you and hear your heart on adoption, a little bit of your story, and just your honesty in through it. And no, adoption is not perfect.
No.
Not every family is
messy.
called out to adopt. But if you're willing to put the Lord at the center,
Yeah.
and learn and
Yeah.
be stretched and just be an advocate for your child that you're adopting and love them as your own, like you can go a long way with that. And yes, unfortunately there's families out there, kids out there who had bad experience on adoption, but then there are other ones who have been raised and had good experience. And so I don't know that we can say that all adoptions are equal, because they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm beyond blessed that you got to experience the family that you got to experience.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't know each other.
We wouldn't know each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have this podcast.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I know that there's a lot more we could talk about.
Oh, I could have said so many things. Trying to keep it in like 35 minutes. There's so many different questions. There's more to I could have answered questions a lot deeper. I tried to give like very brief answers, but like solid answers.
Yeah.
I feel like I was all over the place, but
No, it was a good. Yeah.
maybe we can do a part 2. And
So yeah, if you guys want to know more, if you have any other questions or so forth, just put them on Sierra's comments, and hey, maybe we'll come back together for a part 2 on this. But thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
peace.